Alright, it is 10:01 a.m. and I want to make a quick update. CYBL could be dip towards VWAP setup. This one did. I did see it here struggling to break 19 and it failed, but I didn't see it when it broke past it here, and I don't know if I would have been able to have been a part of this because of the way it broke out with impressive volume and all of that. And I did have a verified canceled with CYBL that was back at 933. Which was right here. When it broke this little range it was trading in, I tried to place an order at 18. I didn't get filled, unfortunately, and that was a nice run from 18 to 18.9 before I guess consolidated at VWAP and then continued again. But I would have been out into the run up here, or maybe even in that consolidation range. And I did trade DPLS. This one did not work out, which is fine, but I only lost like $1.50. And somebody pooped on the chart. I don't know if that was a market maker who just pooped on the chart so that nobody can get in the morning panic bounce play that it did later. But I don't know what else to call it. But either I think some market maker literally just pooped on the chart so that nobody can get in the morning panic bounce play because they can't see what they're doing, and then he's able to take advantage of it. Or maybe some idiot actually just messed up with a zero. I guess not an idiot, just some unlucky guy messed up a zero and placed the order, and it actually went through at a ridiculous price. That would be pretty bad. But I was in DPLS for the same setup for CYBL at 936. I was in right here at this what was it? Yeah, 59.2. So right here was my entry, right about here, when it looked like it was still trading that same range like CYBL, and it looked like it was gonna maybe break out and do something nice towards the upside, but it didn't work out. And I noticed that price action was not looking ideal. I was out at 938, which was right here, and I got out at 589. So I lost just a little bit. It didn't work out here, and I did save myself from this big panic. I think this is the candle that got corrected. I'm not extremely sure, but this would have been nice. 48 to 54. This was a nice morning panic, although I don't know how nice it was because I didn't have the ability to really see how it was trading down here because I was trying to fix the chart. You can fix the chart on Thinkorswim here, but not on E-Trade. So that was the idea with that, and I won't be interested in DPLS anymore unless it goes back down and maybe makes a higher low off of here. That could be a possibility, but yeah, somebody just pooped on the chart here and it just looks ugly. So HMBL, I was never interested in a morning panic bounce play. It was kind of, you see, I don't like it when it trades with a spread and it's all ugly, 16 by 16, 5, and ILUS is the same thing. I actually did try ILUS 2,000 shares at 19 to 946 right here, 946, 19.2. I immediately got out because I didn't like the price action. It's not like I got into the trade, but I got rid of my order, and I was right because it broke under 19, got to the 18s, and then I was interested in it. Now that it broke under 18, all the toxicity got wiped out in this volume candle. They all panic sold, so now this thing can uptrend, and it did that. But look at how it got there. It looks so gross. So if ILUS could trade better, I would probably give it some money. But that's fine. The pattern still played out, just not ideal looking. And right now I'll just be looking at CYBL because it is the uptrending stock if it dips towards VWAP or something like that. But I'm also going to consider DPLS. I just will have to look at the other chart for that one. Alright, it is 10:19. I had one trade with CYBL and I didn't make or lose anything. It was break even. Maybe technically I lost a penny because Fidelity charges commissions. I've noticed just 1 penny on the trade, but I probably won't count that in my tracking. It's just a penny. But I was considering CYBL. Now I wanted it to drop under VWAP, which is what it's doing now, and I might consider it here, for a setup. I just don't like how there are still, to me, a lot of sellers with size on the ask. So it doesn't have to happen. It could still turn around. It'll just be less likely that it's going to turn around. But I would like it to downtrend maybe even break under 19, get some really nice volume, wipe out all the sellers who are trying to nitpick and sell their shares for, save some money trying to sell at the ask instead of selling at the bid, and just wipe them out if it downtrends and gets to like a really hurtful level. And then it could wipe them out, and then it could turn around and be, something that can do a nice, better run. And you can see there's one at 20. So, I saw the downtrend, and it didn't, get under VWAP, but it looked like it was trying to do it. There was a seller at 20, and no, if it wasn't 20, it was 19.9 here, and they eventually broke past it, and I said, all right, let me try to be in this, and I was placed in the order. I was in the order at 10.14 at 20, or I guess 2 cents to be specific, at 10.14, which was right here. And, this thing was already doing it without me. It got to 201, and I had my order at 20. When it did the transition, right, when it broke past this 199 level, and it immediately shot to 201, I didn't get filled. And I thought, all right, that sucks. Another one, I didn't get filled, but at least I was there. I tried. I had a decent amount of size, I feel like, for what this setup could have been. And then I did get filled. And I thought, all right, that's kind of sketchy, like, if it worked, if I was filled on the way up, on the way past the breakout, okay, great. But the fact that it broke out of the range and then it came back to where I was, I didn't like it. And then this right here, just multiply it by like 10, right, with little gaps of green was going on, and somebody was just dumping their shares at 2 cents, just dumping so many shares, so much size. And I said, okay, this is a little sketchy. Immediately I knew it was sketchy. I was in the setup for 5 seconds, literally sold back at the same price at 10.15. Right here I sold back. So I was in right here. Actually, was it the same minute? No, 14 and 15. Okay, yeah, so this was 15. I was out here and I was in right here. It, made the move to 201. I got filled, and then, it was just looking kind of sketchy. And, I think the time is wrong. I wish Fidelity would show the time that the order actually gets filled, not the time that you place it, because it might take 15 minutes before you get your order filled, and it just makes it feel like you've been in that long. I was in and out of this, I think, in like 20 seconds, and it must have been at, I guess, 10:15 for sure, when, I guess I did the breakout here, right, and they got to 202, and then I ended up getting filled, right, and then people were just dumping like continuously at 20 after it tried to make a move at 202, and it started the downtrend, and I just didn't like the price action, so I got out at 10.15, and you can see it immediately broke under that 2 cent level, or 20, whatever. I like calling it 20 just because of the way it looks on level 2. Like, it says 19.5, 19.1, and it did break under VWAP. I'll keep watching it. I just don't like how there's still a lot of people at the ask with a lot of size, so ideally that can get wiped out. Nothing else really interesting. I might consider maybe a dip, under VWAP here, higher than here, but I don't like the daily chart. Could, like, actually not work out, but I could consider a buy at like 1939, and it goes to 1969, 19.7. There's a seller at 19.4 with size, but I mean, it could do it. I just don't like the level it's at on the daily chart. It doesn't look that nice. This one is turning around, which isn't too bad. If this thing can continue the uptrend over many days, it can be something really nice for morning panic bounce place. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'll just keep watching CYBL, but I don't see anything too ideal right now except for that, and maybe ILUS. Alright, it is 10:39, and this is why I don't like listed stocks. I saw this one for like a potential breakout over 7, but it just felt so newbie to just, oh, the ultimate breakout, boom, it just shoots up in the air. It could do it, but it just seems like it was too too fake to really just break out. I saw the head and shoulders here, shoulder, head, shoulder, and I thought, all right, well maybe if it like dips towards VWAP and then it holds it, maybe I could be in and then risk that level breaking, and maybe it can build itself up and work towards maybe considering a breakout, or worst case it fails, it tops out, but I'm in at VWAP, which would have been around the 670s, and then I would have been able to sell for a profit even if the breakout failed. But this is why I don't like listed stocks. Big red candle. Boom. I mean, I saw, like the head and shoulders, but I didn't think it would just, do something like that as crazy as it was. I knew there was a chance, but that was a pretty crazy drop. There's nothing that I'm really interested in right now. I thought about considering ILUS for maybe it turning back towards VWAP, and maybe it tries to finish as a break-even looking candle. But my idea is that if this thing's going to work, it's going to get to 19.4. There's a 42K seller at 19.4. Why should I be in right now at 19.39 and this thing fails, and then, maybe it fails right here, breaks under this level, and maybe it does it later, but it looks all ugly, in that 19.39, when just one little tick higher is 19.4 with 42,000 shares. I'd rather just see this one get taken out, and then 19.4 gets taken out to the point that, ideally I get in right before it actually breaks 19.4 and it goes to the next level above it, right? So I'll still consider it, but only if it gets rid of 19.39. It looks like also it's going to just barely break 19.4, and then I'm in at a better, I guess, risk in terms of the level 2 charts. No interest with DPLS. It's not making like a higher low, a lower low off of the panic. It's still way near its highs, and yeah, that's really about it. I don't like the way it turned around. I wish it looked nicer. I was interested in a dip under VWAP, but this one traded all ugly, so I never gave this one any money. I'll make an update later, but yeah, so far nothing really nice. Alright, it is 12:11. I probably saw this one too early, but this one was just sketchy. The way it just has this, like, these pauses. I want to see if this one can really blow up and do something cool. So I was watching this downtrend, and there was still throughout the entire time a lot of sellers at the ask, but it wasn't until it broke where it freaking opened on the day that it just caused a lot more panic selling, a lot more volume, and maybe wiped out more sellers at the ask. I'm literally right there, this 1.8 guy, this 18 guy, before somebody jumped in at 1.83, but I just didn't like how it just popped up and there was no volume. Like the level 2 just lifted up and there was no volume, but, or as in not volume, but there wasn't any transactions, there wasn't any price action. Yeah, I was right here, and I bought right here. This is literally me. I was in 12:09. Kind of hard to see in this chart, and maybe it looks better without extended hours at this point. Right here at 1:76, 12:09, and I got out at 18. That's it. So I guess I got out at 12:11. You see, here's an example where I got out at 12:11, but it says my order was placed at 12:10. I mean, it was just 3 seconds off, but obviously this thing just records when you place the order, not when you actually get filled. But now it's at 185, so I'm half a penny. Well, not half. Yeah, half a penny. No, I might have that wrong, but now it's at 18.5, and I sold at 18. There's a big bidder too. There is some sketchy dumping. You can see, like right here, right? And there are still sellers at the ask, but this might be it. This might be like one of the turnarounds that actually does something really nice. I have no clue how much I made with this, but I need to get back into the habit of maybe selling half of my position. Because it feels like I'm too bad at holding setups. Maybe in theory, maybe off of this, I could do a trend line, and then if it breaks under it, I can get out the other half, and then sell half at 18 because I'm so scared. But we'll see what it can do. If I want to be more conservative too, I could also remove this and do it off of these two candles, because these are like actually uptrending, right? Give or take like this, and get out if it breaks the trend line completely. But yeah, you see how it's like not trading? That's kind of sketchy. And you know, I don't want to be in a position where it's like this, and then all of a sudden the bid drops and it's at 178, and now you're like, oh shit, well that sucks. You know, ideally, this one has volume, but ideally it would have transactions, like more transactions. Literally, you can still see my entry right here, my exit here, and it's just not trading much. It's like frozen. And as for DPLS, I have been missing this one. You know, I did this drop here. I missed it because they had that, somebody crapped on the chart or whatever, made that weird thing. And then this one could have been a possibility, but I don't like the way it looks. But there was volume. And then I missed this one too, just because of the fact it's not on the main, you know, chart on my E-Trade Pro setup. So I just haven't really been seeing it. It hasn't really made much of a move. I would have liked it if, you know, the drop after this one happened much sooner than when it did here, because that would have made it more likely to do something nice. But yeah, this thing is not having trades, but that's interesting, you know, 18.5. That's probably it. I won't trade anything else, I think. I'll make an update probably when the markets are closed. As for ILUS, this is when I was, let me bring it back the way it was. This is when I was talking about that seller at 19.4 and 19.39, I believe it. It downtrended, right, a little more. It did break the level just a little at 19.22, and it gets, you know, around this level here lower. It did another bull crap, you know, big spread, you know, high amount of sketchiness uptrend, and then it shot down. Maybe I could have traded this, but I didn't see this. Yeah, I didn't see that one, and the volume isn't looking that nice either. I'll make an update to see what CYBL does, but at this point, I would have gone out the other half, or all of it's at 18.5 if I held better, or if I sold half at 18 instead of all at 18 with my entry at 176. But I don't know how much I made on that one, but I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 5:40 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I am up not much, 47 cents, and that was with 3 trades. One was a scratch. I didn't make or lose anything with CYBL. And DPLS unfortunately had that thing with the chart. If it wasn't for that, I totally would have been maybe not have traded it, because hindsight is 20/20. Who knows if I would have traded it, but I would have at least seen this downtrend and maybe participate in it. This one maybe this one would have been more like it because it had more volume, but it was a bit later in the day, and I just was not there for that one, except for the setup right here where I thought I could try to break the morning range like it did with CYBL, which it wasn't able to successfully you know, do with me inside the trade because I just didn't get filled. But that was a setup right here where it broke out of that range, and I did have that trade here. I sold horribly, and I also wasn't sized appropriately. If I was sized correctly with CYBL, even with the bad sell that I had overall, I would have made like $6. And then, you know, with the one that I lost on DPLS, $1.50, I would have been up just a little more. And then the break-even CYBL trade I took right here, I should have been sized as well, even more. So I do need to get better with that and start trying to trade with more size. ILUS, I really forgot about this one, but this was the only move that I would have really have considered here, and I did consider it for this turnaround idea, I believe. No, actually not here, but here. Wow, looks very similar. That's really about it. you know, I look forward to rewatching this, but for next week, I need to really stick to my dollar risk level, because if I take a full-sized dollar risk level trade and it loses, and then I take all of these baby trades where I don't sell as nice as I should have, or I'm not sized in as much as I should be, well, that's trouble. So I need to really work on that, and I look forward to this weekend to just take a small mental break from it. But I do need to start working on those things. That's what I have for today.